Yeah.
I like it.
That's it. Alrighty. Hello and welcome back to the Real Stuff Podcast, episode 11?
Episode 11.
11.
I
Today we
can't
have a
speak.
very special guest.
What's your name?
Zach.
Zach.
Zachary
Yes.
Zachariah.
The
Yes,
owner of
sir.
our equipment.
That's true. He's an executive
Secret-
producer
yeah,
on the Real
secret
Stuff
producer.
podcast.
Without even knowing. This is how I
So-
do it.
Yeah, Zach, why don't you tell us who you are, what you do, your favorite color, and your least favorite person in the room?
Oh, no. That
This
last
is-
question scares me.
Great way to start off.
My
the
name is
podcast.
Zach, and I sell real estate and work part-time at Radiant to Larry.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
And I, live life here in Tulare. I got a fat little baby and one fat little baby on the way.
Oh.
So that's cool.
And
My favorite color
favorite color, yeah.
is orange.
Really?
Yep. I've
Okay.
always liked orange.
It's a
I don't
good
know.
color.
It's just
Controversial.
bright and vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
Just, lights up a room.
Question
So,
for you. Can I
yes.
interrupt?
you can.
Is that why you like selling oranges?
That is part of it, I'm
Mhm.
sure. Yeah, the little pop of orange on a green tree is just something about it. But I also like selling oranges because typically they sell for a lot of money. So you, in turn, make a lot more money than you
Yeah.
normally would.
That would make sense.
That's a good
So
reason.
Yeah.
it's not a
Like
bad
orange.
thing.
I
True.
would like orange if they made me
Yeah.
a lot of money.
That's
So-
true. They taste good too, like tangerines.
Mhm.
You didn't answer the last question though.
The
Who's
last
your least
question
favorite person in the room?
is, honestly, I probably have more beef with myself than either one of you.
Oh, well,
That was a
So,
very safe answer.
well, he's honest.
I'm
and-
being honest.
And yeah,
Probably true.
very, very
I
safe.
keep myself up at night far more than you, Carson, or you.
Have
Reese.
you ever? Never mind.
You're
I'm not
gonna
gonna
ask me if I ever thought about you at night.
No, and then it was gonna sound weird.
Kind of weird. It's
So
not
then I
that-
did
It
it.
could be more weird. but
Yeah.
it's not that weird.
That's true.
Yes, in a brotherly, loving way. I have.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate
Good way to
that.
answer that question.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very strange question.
I didn't mean to ask it. It just kind of slipped
We
out.
understand
that's
where you're coming
normally-
from.
Yeah, that's
We get
normally
it.
how it goes.
Yeah.
Reese has a question that makes sense, and then it's just strange when he asks.
Yeah. Probably once an episode I'll ask a weird question that probably shouldn't be asked, but that's okay.
Was that
We
the
keep
one,
rolling.
or is there going to be more? You think?
There will
I don't know.
probably be more. That was too early on.
It was
for it to
yeah.
be the
It was
only
pretty
one.
early on.
Gotcha.
But so Zach, I don't know if you know this, but we actually have the greatest game in the world
We
on
do.
our podcast.
I
We do.
believe it.
It's called RS or BS. So it's real stuff or bologna sandwich, obviously. This is
Mhm.
a family-friendly podcast.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So the way this game works is I have a random trivia fact that I'm going
Alright.
to read to you and Reese. And you have to tell me if it is RS, true, real stuff, or BS, false, bologna sandwich. So this could be a completely real fact. I could have randomly made it up.
He's
And
been on
you
a
have
kick
to
for
decide.
making things up recently.
I've
Yeah.
realized now that I don't have to like twist facts. I can just completely just make things up,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to tell.
Some wild stuff out there that
There's some wild.
could or could not be true.
That's
Yeah.
true. So let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
Okay, so my first fact, RS or BS, giraffes say moo.
BS.
I feel like this is too easy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go with
Yeah, you're
BS
right.
too.
That's real stuff. They moo. Giraffes moo.
As soon as I said BS, I was
Okay,
like,
define moo though.
I don't know. The things that
So
giraffes
they make
say
sounds
moo,
with their mouths and they're like in the cow
like
mammal category. Doesn't mean they necessarily
Is
moo.
it literally
could
a
be like a
moo?
full on like moo. I don't know. You know, it just said giraffes say moo. And I
Yeah.
was like, I went with it. We're gonna have to figure it
we'll
out.
have to do some verification of
That's true.
mooing.
Mitchell.
Yeah. Mitchell.
Okay. Next fact.
'Kay.
Apparently giraffes moo. A
Interesting.
man once wore 60 shirts and 9 pairs of jeans. 60, not 16. 60 shirts
6-0.
and 9 pairs of jeans to the airport to avoid extra fees.
Oh, that's totally true. RS. Somebody would do that.
60 shirts, though.
Yep.
It's a
That's
lot
a
of shirts.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll
Yep.
say RL stuff. Who
That's
cares?
real stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he wore
see
it
it.
through an 11.5-hour flight.
Wow. Where was he going? Do you know?
He was going... Crap. He was going either to or from Africa.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember where the other place was.
Interesting.
But
How many pounds of extra?
I'm just imagining... Homeboy must have been...
How did he
cooking
sit
there.
on the plane? Because I feel like unless he was in like first class or something, like if you're sitting in just like economy, that's pretty squished though.
Yeah, you're adding like a good
I mean, 60
4 to
shirts,
6 inches
that's
of
gotta
layer.
be- and like,
'Cause what
he
is
must
this,
have been
like a-
cooking.
less than a centimeter.
I don't know, and you could like they probably
Like a
like, you-
16th of an inch or something.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
wild.
So you're
That's insane.
you're
Can you
doing it.
imagine?
I could do that.
If I wear like 3 layers a lot of the time, I'm warm.
I could-
Yeah,
I could see doing that for like a funny video or something, but like
to actually
an
sit
11-hour
through that.
flight.
it's not.
Was it worth it?
it's
That's
not-
my question to him.
No, for
I don't
me.
know.
Was
I
it
would
worth
say
it?
No.
I'm
Just-
paying the
but
50
I don't
bucks.
know.
Yeah,
Like, how expensive can it be for 11 and a half
No.
hours of torture?
yeah.
Because that's what that would be.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's
Torture.
not a thing for me.
Mm-mm.
No, I'm not doing it.
Mm-mm.
All right. Next fact: the large spined caribou is now officially extinct, with the last living large spined caribou being hit by a train after being spooked by the wildlife professionals trying to keep the species alive.
How detailed you are if this is some BS.
I know, but he's done this before though, Zach. He's done this very thing.
Yeah, what did
I just read the thing. It accidentally said spike, but it is the large spined caribou, not the large.
the large spined caribou?
Yeah, it's now extinct, so we don't have to worry about getting it right. But
If it is. If
If
it's
it
not,
is.
then we do because
That's
it's still here.
I'm gonna go with BS. That's what my heart is saying.
I'm gonna go with RS, just because I can.
that's BS.
Yeah.
But the large spined caribou is also not an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of that was completely made up.
So you got us on multiple levels there.
So can I ask
Good.
you, when you make that stuff up, do you like take one thing and like sort of, or do you like, you know what? The large spiked caribou or whatever, spined caribou.
This animal that I made up is very.
You just made it up completely?
Oh yeah, I was sitting right over there, right where that camera is, right there.
Yeah.
And I was sitting at the desk and I was thinking, what can I make up for RS or BS today? And I made
That's
up
what
the
you
whole
got.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
I
I
was-
thought it was good too.
Multiple layers to that made me feel like, wow, the lengths you have to go to be
Yeah,
like BSing right here.
Mm-hmm.
it's
That's pretty
now
Yeah.
it's getting kind of tougher and tougher because I'm like, because at the beginning I would just like distort facts a little bit, you know.
Mhm.
But now, like, I realize I can just make stuff up, and it's more fun this way. But it's also
Definitely.
like, if I put too much detail, it's like, but also some of the facts just have a lot of detail.
This is
So,
true.
like, I don't know. I'm trying to find the balance. But, I'm pretty sure I'm a pro at it. But next, a man once legally changed his name on a bet.
Oh, for
Go
sure.
RS, yeah.
RS, 100%.
This one is not hard, but I'm just so excited to share his name.
Oh, no.
So, after losing a poker bet where
Oh, no.
they were intoxicated,
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
a New Zealand man had his name legally changed to Full Metal Havoc, more sexy and the letter N intelligent than Spock and all the superheroes combined with Frost Nova.
RS for sure.
That's his name.
Yeah,
Full
there's
Metal Havoc, more sexy
Yeah.
and intelligent than Spock and all the superheroes combined with Frost Nova.
RS.
Why?
I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's RS. And after
You didn't let
it took
Zach
5
guess.
years-
No, he
You guys
did.
already
Oh,
guessed.
you
already
guessed
guessed.
RS?
Yeah.
Oh.
He
You
was
guys
telling
both
us
said
after.
RS,
Oh.
and then I told you. the
Yeah,
name,
for sure.
So it took 5 years
Yeah,
for the
for
name to be
sure.
approved by the government. 5 years.
Wow.
And now all 99 characters of his name are on all of his government documents.
What a
So, like,
pain, dude.
Can you
Why?
imagine like having to fill out things and you're like Full Metal Havoc, more sexy.
What do
and
they call
intelligent
him?
than Spock and probably his
Like
old name.
Full Metal?
No, they probably just call him his old name, like all the people who talk
Yeah.
to him. But
That's-
legally, he's now Full Metal Havoc, more sexy and intelligent than Spock and all the other superheroes combined with Frost Nova.
That's just like a little too far
That's a
for
little too
joke. I'm
much,
just
yeah.
saying,
Crazy, right?
I mean, he probably, what I'm assuming was he lost poker and owed a bunch of money. That's would be my guess. And they're like, well, if you change your name to this. But
No.
it was like a good amount that he couldn't pay it, but not like a big enough amount that they're like, we're going to kill
Hold
you
you
for
to
it or
it.
something, you know?
It's like 50 grand or something.
Well, I think that would be
Oh.
I was thinking like a couple grand.
Oh, okay.
Like enough that's like friends aren't
We're
going
in
to
real
like.
estate now, so a couple grand scares me far less than it used to. That's all.
That's true.
That's what I was thinking. But same idea. Same.
You
idea.
know? Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're laying down. That's crazy.
Okay. So
Yeah.
next one.
What?
Sorry. I was.
You see, I want okay.
I was going back. I was going up to something later. I thought of a question. Okay.
I like
So my next one.
Okay.
Fashion icon Salvatore Maxi was recently arrested on charges of second-degree murder of a foreign politician. RS or BS?
That's RS. You're doing too much if you can BS that.
I'm gonna pay BS.
Yeah, that's BS. Yeah. Salvatore Maxi is not a real person.
I was thinking
Definitely not a fashion
I was thinking. Did you make this up from Salvatore Moroni from
No.
Batman?
No,
This
no,
is
that would've been
impressive.
cool, though.
Right?
I'm kind of
Like 2 weeks ago, he started doing this, and it was like
This has
a.
become more than just a game.
Let me
This
look
is
at
like
what it was that I said.
Carson should start writing
I
for
know.
like some of the Hollywood
Like
peeps.
yeah.
Let
You
me-
could be like a Marvel writer. Could write
there was
superhero movies.
one- Oh, my one the other day, it was completely made up. I said the Arabian mongoose found in northern parts of the Arabian Peninsula was recently discovered to be one of the smartest mammals on the planet, surpassing dolphins and chimps in their ability to remember information and replicate human activity. And I just made that up.
See, you got.
Isn't that wild?
I would have got. You would have got by me on that one because of the Arabian Peninsula, like there ain't none of that stuff. So that's what would have got me. But
I'm pretty sure the Arabian Peninsula is real.
well, but not the way you
But the
articulated
Arabian
it.
mongoose, I don't think. It's
Yeah,
real.
I think I don't.
That one up.
I don't know that the Arabian Peninsula is real either.
I'm
Is that a
pretty sure
thing?
it is. I'm pretty sure I
But I'm
got-
trying to
that
think
was the
where-
one real thing.
Where would that be? Saudi Arabia?
I guess so.
Probably.
I'm
There's-
pretty sure it's
that's
real.
my guess.
I thought it was. I'm pretty sure that's what I based it off.
I
of.
feel like you would have said Saudi Arabian Peninsula.
I think it's just
feels
called
real.
Arabian Peninsula.
You know, this is.
I don't
seem like
know.
Yeah, it's a
legit
real
place.
thing. It's actually the largest peninsula in the world. Apparently.
Oh,
I guess
I'm so
located in
confused.
Good
the
try.
extreme southwestern corner of Asia.
yeah. It's the
Learn
real
something new
deal.
every day because I definitely didn't know where it was, but I do have 3 more.
Okay.
I'm mind blown
Alright.
right now.
Hit me.
Next, Dolly Parton once lost a
Oh,
Dolly
no.
Parton lookalike contest. RS or BS?
RS.
That sounds like an
Yeah.
RS.
That was RS.
Yeah.
She actually got the it was based off of applause, and she got the least applause out of everyone, and she ended up losing to a drag queen
Oh,
Wow.
in a Dolly Parton.
There you
lookalike.
have it.
Wow. I
never
mean,
know these
that
days.
makes sense.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It is pretty wild.
I mean,
That's hilarious.
I would be. I don't know if I would be embarrassed or I would just be like.
I would feel
okay.
so much. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I feel
I
like
don't know.
that's kind of like the way that our world is. It kind of makes
It
sense
makes
though.
so much sense.
Like
yeah.
some people have personified and like made people out to be larger than they really are,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and so it's not like crazy to think that
When they're standing in front of you.
you wouldn't even necessarily
Yeah.
recognize them because they have all these other thoughts that come into your mind when you think about them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh yeah, that doesn't quite add up to what this idea in my mind is. So yeah, it must be
Mhm.
that one. And it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about that. Like how larger than life people have become.
Yeah. Let's talk about this after the game because I have something I want to add to that
That's a good one.
conversation too.
Okay. I have 2 more. This next one. Scientists have recently discovered a new type of bacteria off the coast of Somalia in
He's already
Africa
smirking.
Smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
that
smirking.
reportedly causes skin to become slightly blue and causes slight physical mutations such as webbed hands in newborn children
Oh,
affected by the
that's
bacteria.
a thing though. That is a thing. Webbed hands is a thing.
That's a thing.
Well, I know it is a thing,
Oh,
but
yeah.
is it a
RSBS.
thing within this?
Oh man.
That's a good one.
I can read it again.
Yeah, read it to me one more time.
Okay.
Just the fact that you were laughing is throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm
got me.
laughing because I'm looking at this one and it has a lot of details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took you a long time to get all the details, is what you're saying?
No, it took me a long time to write it down. That's true. But
Yeah,
just
because you had to
it's a-
come up with it in your brain?
I'm not gonna say if I came
Oh,
up with it or
okay.
not.
Just checking.
I definitely came up with the other 2.
Oh, okay.
Did I find a fact?
Well, there's
with
only
more
been one that
details
you
to
came
throw
up
you
with.
off? I don't know. There were 2.
So this is the
weren't
second one?
there? Fashion icon Salvatore Maxi and large
Yeah.
spine caribou.
Mm.
Yeah.
He's good.
Okay, so
He is good.
He is good.
scientists, I'll reread it for you.
'Kay.
Scientists have recently discovered a new type of bacteria off the coast of Somalia in Africa
Okay.
that
You didn't say that the first time.
Yeah, I did.
You heard that?
I don't know.
I'm pretty
Anyway,
sure I
I think
said it
you
continue.
both
did.
times because I have it written Somalia in Africa.
Oh, okay.
It,
Making
like
sure.
just so I could make sure you knew that was a real place, like the Arabian Peninsula.
Oh yeah, we remember it from the movie Captain movie. Remember?
No.
The Somalian pirates take over the ship. Anyways,
What?
Yeah.
I'm the captain now.
Oh,
You remember
okay.
that? You heard of that?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways,
Off the- off
it's
the
the
coast
thing,
of
bro. It's the
Somalia
thing.
in Africa that reportedly causes skin to become slightly blue and causes slight physical mutations such as webbed hands in newborn children affected by the bacteria.
That's some BS right there. Calling it.
I'm gonna go with RS.
That is BS.
Dang
the whole
it,
thing
you
was made up.
such a turd.
Webbed hands are a thing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but yeah, the whole bacteria, slightly blue, I thought would tip you off. No, like you
I
some
could
blue
see it,
people
though.
I
walking
can't,
around.
dude. You get me, bro.
I was gonna say that they could breathe underwater, and then I thought that would be too far fetched.
Yeah, that would have
So
been.
I
a
was like,
little-
then I was like, nah, the webbed hands. But I was going for like a what are they called?
Like,
Black Panther.
yeah, yeah,
The,
yeah. Those guys.
underwater
no,
people.
yeah, the underwater people.
The underwater.
I can't
Remember when we
remember
went to go
exactly-
see that movie in the middle of the night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Not the first movie we
exactly.
went to see at the middle of the night either.
True.
Telecom.
Telecon? What?
Telecom? Is that
Telecom?
what it's called?
Sure.
I think it is. Anyway, last and final one.
I'm scared.
McDonald's tried to make bubblegum flavored broccoli to get children to eat healthier.
Ooh, that is so
Ooh.
good. You are so good at this game.
I feel like I'm gonna say BS because like that's
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Gosh, dang
say. I don't know. I just think if I want a kid to eat something, the only reason why I think this could be BS is because my first choice would not be bubble gum and broccoli.
I feel like bubble gum was pretty trendy when I was little though,
This is
or like when
true.
I was in elementary school, middle
But
schoolish.
broccoli.
I know that's
Like,
yeah.
it's-
No,
it's
I mean
broccoli.
sure. I'm gonna go
And
with
this was McDonald's, so this wasn't just a small like.
yeah.
place.
I'm gonna go with BS because I don't know if McDonald's really cares that much.
I'm gonna go with RS.
That's real stuff. And this wasn't even that
Wow.
long ago. I forgot to write down the thing.
6 months ago, Reese.
No, it was definitely like 9 years, but it was like 2014 if
Yeah.
I remember.
Wow.
Bubble.
Right when you were
gum.
into your McDonald's phase,
Yeah,
if you ever were into one,
yeah. McDonald's, so McNuggets like every couple months.
they hit,
Some
bro.
McNuggets, they'll go hard for sure.
You gotta get the fries hot off the press,
Mhm.
and they hit. But other
yeah,
than that,
the buffalo sauce from McDonald's. Have you had the buffalo sauce?
their honey mustard, dude, they
Fire.
got some decent stuff.
They got it
on the
together
menu.
there, you know. I
You
mean,
know?
there's a reason that they're the largest real estate holding company.
Yeah. It was like
They're
a
not the
nice-
largest, but they're pretty up there, aren't they?
Well, yeah, and the whole thing is that they're not in the burger game.
Yeah, they're in the real estate
the
game.
real estate game. That's
Yeah.
the main thing. Like
Very
which is
smart.
Very smart. It is.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so that was real stuff, and that's all I have. For
Nice.
RSOBS.
I like
Okay,
that.
before we get into the real conversation, though, we have a new segment that we started.
We
Okay.
do.
It's called Breaking News. Dun 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 dun.
Thank you. Kalina.
Thank you, Kalina.
Thank you,
Kalina's
Kalina.
out. outside.
Record that and edit that in.
Yeah, that was great. So I have two pieces of news that are real news. There's no debate on them, but I'll talk about them and then we'll discuss. So the
I'll
first
think
one,
about them.
the first one is an emotional support alligator in Pennsylvania named Wally Gator, and he has a big following on Instagram and TikTok.
Hmm.
So this weekend, his owner tried taking him to a Phillies game and was denied entrance. So my question to you was, should they have allowed this
No.
emotional support alligator in?
No.
No.
It's an alligator. It's like this big. It's like, and it gives hugs, and it's like,
My thing is like, where do we draw the line?
I don't know.
That feels like a line.
I feel
that I
like,
would draw
and again, I just have trouble with emotional support animals
in general.
In general, like I just, I don't know. I think they're kind of odd, and I don't know too much about the whole thing.
I think when they're needed, they're needed.
Yeah.
but
Sure.
But I think they're over, like a lot of people just like, oh, I need an emotional support animal, whatever, Maybe that's wrong on me to say, but I'm saying it
I'm
anyway.
not sure, but no,
Yeah.
but-
But anyway, yeah,
just
they didn't let
don't-
him in.
Yeah, I just think we got to draw a line somewhere, folks. Like,
An alligator's a
wanna-
good place to draw the line.
yeah, like, I'm sorry, your alligator. If I'm in the store, if it gets too close to my son, I don't care. It's getting punted
True.
across the store. Like,
Mhm.
True.
I'm drop kicking it 30 yards into the field goal.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't a thing.
Because
so.
you could. I mean, it wasn't that big. You could pick it up Probably with 2 hands. hold
Wringing
it.
its neck.
Yeah, like
Sorry.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's an alligator.
It's on a leash,
you know?
apparently. And
Does
again,
that
I'm
help?
not trying to defend it. I'm
Sure.
just kind of adding to the conversation.
No,
It's
yeah,
on a
I feel
leash,
it.
apparently. He like carries it on his like thing with the snout up. Yeah, it was weird.
No.
It was weird.
Yeah, I ain't into it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they did good not letting.
I
the
think so
alligator
too.
in.
Good for the
Yeah,
Phillies.
like, I
Good
just-
for the Phillies.
Yeah,
I like
I
Trey
don't know.
Turner, so I like the Phillies.
I
yeah.
think it's a little much.
I think so too.
It's a lot much, I think.
Yeah,
You can have a pet alligator all you want.
Yeah.
Just, like, keep it away from other people.
true.
Yeah.
Because, like, we have pretty good, like, we've honed in on cats and dogs and
Mhm.
hamsters. I don't know that we've honed in alligators
Alligators.
as pets.
Yeah.
So
It's a little odd.
they could snap at,
Yeah. Well,
anything.
Well, and there's even dogs that
Still.
are pretty crazy
not-
too.
yeah.
You know.
And have you seen like the videos of like people who have like a bunch of alligators like at their like even like trainers, right? And like
Mm.
they've gotten to the point where they can walk in there, but like the alligators are like following them. It's not.
It's still
like
sketch.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like,
heck
it's,
no.
Like and those. I can't remember what it was, but there's a video of someone who like there were like steps walking across, and all the alligators were in the water. Like they're waiting. If you fall in,
Mm.
I don't think they're gonna give you a hug. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah,
but
I don't
no,
know.
I don't mess with alligators. I'm
Mm-mm.
scared of Florida because of alligators or crocodiles or whatever. they
Yeah.
have, both.
Yeah, I'm not messing with that.
Yeah. All right. So my second piece of breaking news, and maybe this will lead us back into our larger than life conversation about celebrities. And you guys both probably heard about this, but I have a few interesting stats that I wanted to share. Taylor Swift,
Hmm.
Kalina loves
This is
Taylor
true.
Swift, is now dating Travis Kelce,
This is true.
who is a tight end for the Chiefs.
Mhm.
And so last weekend, she was spotted at their game, right? Up until that point, from the beginning of the season, Travis Kelce's... Wait, no, I'll start with this. So ticket prices for the cheap seats at the Jets game the following weekend afterwards, after
After the first appearance.
ticket prices went up for the cheap seats 10%. The average sales price for tickets for the Jets game went up 35%.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
By fans that wanted to get a chance to see Taylor Swift.
Wow.
On top of that, Travis Kelce's jersey, which was the night he's fairly popular beforehand,
As it is, yeah.
but it was the 19th best-selling jersey in the NFL.
By
After
itself,
by
just
itself, before
who he is.
yes, from
Okay.
the season to when this was announced,
Which is pretty good.
which is pretty good. After that, it jumped to the top 5 best-selling jerseys in the NFL,
That's crazy.
passed up Patrick Mahomes, who is his quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
That is crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
And there were a couple other stats that it was talking about, because there's a couple of them that don't relate to football, but like the New Balances that she was wearing, the 550s, they like sold out within, like as soon as she saw them, they had just been released by New Balance and they had sold out in a bunch of different places, and now they're worth a bunch of money.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's my
That's wild.
breaking news. But I want back to what we were talking about earlier though. I saw someone in person on, what was it? It was someone on Instagram that like they had a lot of followers on Instagram, and they're not like a celebrity or anyone. It's someone in Visalia. And then I saw them in town, and it was just like, it occurred to me. I was like, it was funny like how much we think about people when they're just on social media.
Yeah.
And then when we see them in person, it's like, I don't want to say underwhelming, but it's just like we
They're
like
just
put
humans,
people. Yeah,
too.
they're just people.
At the end of the day.
And maybe that sounds stupid of me
No,
to say, but
because
Yeah,
it's the
I'm
truth.
yeah, it was interesting. It was wild to see them,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't know what you think about that at all, but
Yeah, I think it's crazy. I don't think people don't realize that at the end of the day they are really just humans too. They struggle with
Mhm.
the same stuff we struggle with. I'm sure that's easy. If you are a celebrity out there, even though you probably aren't watching this, but
hey,
They are.
they are.
it's
They are.
easy for us here sitting in Tulare, because we're not yet famous, to say, oh, they're just humans too as celebrities. But the truth of the matter is, you guys know you are. There's nothing
Mhm.
like special. You have some gifts,
Mhm.
yeah, that have been given to you by God. But like, in and of itself, it's just you eat, you sleep, you poop, just like we do.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
that's a good
It's kind of
point.
weird to me, and I just think it goes back to humans, and like overall, we love to put our time and effort and energy and like our lives into things that are very interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I would argue stuff that like doesn't matter at the end
Yeah.
of the day. Like, who cares who Taylor Swift's dating?
Like,
what does that mean to me?
yeah.
I don't know. That may be just me, but
Well, it's wild the impact. Like those kind of things are just crazy that one person
has that much influence.
has that
on
much
people.
influence.
It's kind of scary, to be honest.
It's
Like,
pretty wild, you know.
It's kind of scary. 'Cause
I was watching a video about how she like I can't, and again, this was off a video, so like disclaimer, but they were talking about how much she boosted economies in the cities that she visited on her tour by like it was crazy numbers. The economy in the city were just wild, like going
went
off
up
the charts
instantly.
because when
Yeah.
she was visiting. But yeah, it was crazy. I don't remember anything off the top of my head. I just remember it was a
Yeah.
crazy amount of stuff.
I wonder, man, like, do you really want that kind of pressure or that kind of like influence?
Yeah.
Because I don't think you may have wished for that, and that maybe have been her dream or something. But it's like, at the end of the day, do you know what kind of responsibility you have if you are that influential?
Mhm.
Do you know what really at the end of the day? You know, I don't try to get super spiritual on it. I don't know how y'all do that here, but
Whatever you want to say.
like,
Whatever the heck
you know what you're gonna have to answer to compared to a lot of other people when
Yeah.
you get the
Yeah.
platform that you've been given. Like, you're gonna stand before God, and He's
Yeah.
gonna have a little bit more to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious, and I'm just interested to see what that looks like for people if they don't have a proper perspective of
Yeah.
why they have what they have, or the platform that they have, and the reasoning behind it. Like, you're gonna answer for that.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, I don't know. You better
Yeah.
choose wisely how
Yeah.
you navigate the world in life, because it
Mhm.
matters.
I don't think I could be a celebrity. I just don't want that.
No,
I don't.
I don't want
I
that
could.
at all.
I could. No, I'm just kidding.
You kind of are locally. You know?
Not really.
Well,
I mean, you know more. You have more people that know you than I do, probably.
I feel like the Sean team helps all of us with that.
That's
If
true.
I'm being honest.
That's true.
We get to ride the coattails of Brother Blake.
That's That's a good point. Well, let's talk about you for a minute, Zach. So you just
Yeah.
started Radiant Young, youth group,
Yes.
right? Tell us a little bit
Couple
about
weeks
that.
ago.
What you've been doing?
Yeah, so we meet every other week, and we've just been hanging out with mainly the youth of our church, and we'll definitely expand it and, start hanging out with whoever wants to come. But, yeah, we just felt like, this year a lot of our students transitioned into junior high, and we already had a few high schoolers, but it was just time to, make a shift towards
Mhm.
giving them a space to be heard and loved on and seen. And so we decided, in September we were going to start something up. And, we've been meeting for a couple weeks now. It's been fun. We just hang out, eat a lot of junk food, and talk
Yeah.
about Jesus. So
Heck yeah.
it's been cool.
The
Yeah,
best
I think
way to
we
do
met
it.
3 times now, and waiting for Reese to come do, maybe if I put it online, it'll help, to come help
Maybe it will.
do some worship every other Sunday. Strum a couple of songs on the guitar for us. So who knows? This might be what it takes to put this
Maybe it
online.
will. I don't know.
Who knows? But yeah, so it's been fun.
Yeah,
It's been
that's
really
good.
We're going through this Bible study I found called the Thread, and it's from Youth Ministry 360. They're a cool resource, and man, it's awesome how they put it together. Essentially, we're going to walk through. It's going to take us 2 years because we're meeting every other week.
Uh-huh.
But it would take, any group that was going and meeting just for every week, it would take them a year to go through the whole study, and essentially walks through the whole Bible and explains the thread of the gospel and the
That's
story
cool.
of Jesus throughout the whole thing.
That's awesome.
And it's pretty legit.
Do you have
so.
to pay for it online? Did you have to?
Yeah, once you buy it, you have it. It's not.
Okay.
It's just like a package deal.
That's cool.
So yeah,
Can I
it's
read
pretty,
it?
it's pretty cool. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay,
I got
Yeah,
access
that would
to
be
it,
sick.
so it's pretty legit. But yeah, there's parent emails you can send out. There's
Mhm.
devotionals we can send the kids, and yeah, it's nice too because it's kind of already put together. We just have to come in and make sure we know what we're talking about for
Yeah.
that week.
Yeah.
But all of us have other jobs and other things going on too, so you don't have to sit and study for hours and hours on end.
And do a
But
whole message.
yeah,
for
it's
it,
still super practical and super helpful and Bible based and centered. So yeah, we feel really good about it. And
Yeah.
I've learned a bunch already. It's like,
Yeah,
this is
sure.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So last week we just kind of had the setup, and then this last Sunday we started off in Genesis and just started talking about creation and how we were created in God's image, and it's been legit.
Yeah.
Super cool.
That's cool. Have you
Yeah.
done, so tell us about what you've done, like your journey of ministry, and
Yeah.
because I know you've
Yeah.
gone through a whole lot of stuff in the past couple of years, huh?
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. Yeah, I used to be in ministry and was a youth pastor and helped at the Bible college for 5 or 6 years, and it was really cool. I really enjoyed it, and there felt kind of a shift somewhere in like 2020, right before COVID times, where I just felt like maybe God was saying it's time to go do something else. Maybe, you have ran your race in this spot, and it's time to figure out maybe what else He has for me. And so that's when I met Blake and Jacob, and so I've been doing the real estate thing for about 3 years now. And yeah, through this whole journey, I kind of had, I call it I'm not quite middle-aged yet, but I call it a theological midlife crisis. Just kind of reworking some of the ways I look at how, to reach people, how to walk through life with Jesus and others, and what community looks like, what ministry looks like, and how it, flipped a few things upside down for me, and in good ways and some in challenging ways. But so this last year or so, I found myself back in ministry, and this last weekend we actually announced I'm part-time again at a church here in town, Radiant, and so it's been fun, man. Like, just feel like I'm a kid again. Yeah, I got responsibilities and I got to take care of my family, and God's, giving me certain things to make sure I steward well. But I feel like a kid again in the sense that, like, I really, the cats that I get to run with, man, I feel like it's a lot like our, crew here. We just do our best to love God and love people. Like, we don't got to make it more complicated than it needs to be. It doesn't have to be this big production. It can just be that simple. Like, yeah, there's some events we do and things we, have some structure to, but at the end of the day, it's like, no, it can be that simple, and it will always be messy because people are involved. But if you do your best to love God and to love the people around you, like, it can be freaking awesome, and it's been freaking awesome these last 2 years or so. Yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, man. In the sweet spot right now, and I feel like God's really blessed me. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, Zach and I we met when was it?
Man, a while ago.
It was a while ago.
Probably 4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago.
Kind of through your dad in the youth group.
Yeah, it's for See You at the Pole.
See You at the Pole.
That was fun. Yep. Did you go see? You went to see a couple See You at the Poles.
I went to a few. My high school was weird because I had COVID right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 2 years. I kind of got reworked a little bit.
Yeah, I think my freshman and sophomore year I had it, but junior and senior year I don't think I did.
Yeah. Yeah, but Zach and I met at See You at the Pole because I was on the worship team, and then Zach was doing his thing with their little youth leaders club.
Yeah.
And then we got reacquainted again when I joined the Sean team, came over here, and so we've been working together for almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in January that I joined the team.
Dang.
So it's 3 months away? What month is it right now?
3
October?
years.
It's October? Oh, wow.
That's crazy. 3 years, huh?
I'm just amazed it's already October.
I know.
Year.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
It's been a long year, but it's been really
It's
fast.
been, yeah.
I don't know. Crazy.
Do you remember when I first came to the office?
Vaguely.
And I met with you, Jacob, and Blake.
We were at the OG, office here on Kern and L, and we were hanging in there. We had our little living room, and we had our little conference room on the side.
Yeah.
It was different times. It was cool.
That was fun.
Yep. I definitely remember those days. That was pretty wild.
Carson wasn't around then, though.
I was not around.
He was still in high school.
He was alive.
Yeah.
No, I was born 2 years ago.
He was still a person.
Younger.
Yeah, I was just living the high school life.
Yeah. So you've gone through a theological midlife crisis. Did that relate to your hair? Change a couple months ago?
Maybe. It could have partly to do with it. I mean, I have regained some confidence since I cut my hair, which most people lose their confidence when they lose their hair, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I kind of feel a little more confident being bald.
It suits you.
I think it's the beard. I think it's the whole...
You got the mustache.
I got a decently round head. Like, it works for pretty good. So, yeah, I think that could be part of it, just had a little... needed another little look
change.
to match what was going on spiritually.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's funny looking at those the sauce videos.
When I had hair,
Well,
Or
yeah,
just
but it just like
the difference.
the difference, you know,
It's true.
a couple years makes.
It's a very true statement.
Yeah. So I guess you kind of said something, but if you were to like sum up like one piece of like advice for how we look at ministry or like people look at ministry right
Yeah.
now, like what you've learned over the past however many years to now, like what has changed for you? What would you like to see moving forward for like the church as a whole?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a big question.
I know it's a loaded question.
I
but
like it. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
I think, I just think that in the past, I'll just speak from myself personally, because at the end of the day, that's all I really can answer for.
Yeah.
But I approached ministry and I approached scripture and I approached my relationship with God like, what can I get out of this? Like, what is God trying to teach me? Well, how can I climb the ladder to have a bigger youth group or better this or do this or that? And I come to the realization like the whole message Jesus came to give is like it's not about us. It's about him. Like, and when you lay down your life for other people and when you serve other people, like it's the greatest feeling in the world, And so I would just say like overall I would encourage people to maybe point the finger a little less and start looking in the mirror a little more. Maybe look at scripture in a way that asks the question, what is like the Jesus point in here? What is Jesus trying to say here? How are we like supposed to look at Jesus in this situation, and less about, what can I get out of this? How can I be better? How can I do this? What is scripture? What does it mean because I'm a child of God? How can I become, this thing that's better because of what Jesus has done for me? That's part of it. Don't get it twisted. It is a part of it, and it's a byproduct of who Jesus is. But I think if we can really come to an understanding of like him being the main character and life being all about him and him receiving all the glory in all of our stories, I think we'll be in a better spot at the end of the day. So I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes
overall,
a lot of sense.
But I in the past, I know I've wanted so much to figure out, Zack, what's Zack's place? How does Zack fit in here? What is Jesus trying to teach Zack? How can Zack be better? And it's like, that's part of it. He wants us to walk out a God, fearing, a God glorifying life. But it's only because of who he is that we get to even attempt to try to do that. And only by his Spirit are we even able to do it.
Well, and the only reason that we do that is to glorify him at the end anyway.
Right. It's just so we can point people back to him. So, I would say that for me has been like the biggest part of the theological midlife crisis, and what I would love to see more and more believers do as they walk out their lives when trying to, make Jesus number one in it. Yeah.
Do you think you're seeing more of that? Do you think you're seeing less of that as you kind of discover it in your own life?
I feel I feel like I've gathered more tools and understanding of how to do it in my own life. I'm definitely not there. I'm trying to work on that every day. That's a part of sanctification overall. But I think part of it is I would like to think I've been surrounding myself with more and more people who are doing their best to try to live that out and admitting it every day when they mess up, because we mess up every day. But I would say that one is like surrounding myself with people that have a similar outlook, so I feel more like we're doing that more, and again, it's not even about doing, we're becoming, I guess, more of who God would want us to be, because we ain't gotta do nothing, we just gotta live into what he's given us. So I would say that part of it. And as far as the world as a whole, like we know this is not our final resting place. We live in a broken world, and just because we follow Jesus and call ourselves Christians doesn't mean we're not a part of it. At some point, like we've all fallen short, And so I don't know necessarily if I've seen more of it, or just like, again, surrounding myself with more of those types of people. But I still feel like, I believe in God's like church, and I believe in that's his plan. Like I believe in his kingdom. So I still have the hope that he's going to continue to pull through and do what he says, because at the end of the day, we know that's what's going to happen. So,
So, Carson, I have a question for you.
Okay.
As we're thinking about this, because Carson and I both are in ministry too, so we both lead worship, and we both are in youth. So, Carson, how are you like adjusting to like what are you seeing over the past year that you've been out of high school and leading worship full time? Like, how has your outlook on ministry been? Has it changed at all? Has it?
In the last year,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's changed a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, it from when I was, like, little, I remember, like, what, how old are we in Justice class? Justice class at Calvary? You were, what, 5th grade?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
5th grade?
Yeah.
I remember, there's one thing I've always remembered. You used to lead a worship. You were, what, 10? Reese was, like, 10, and he would lead a worship for, like, a 5th and 6th grade
But I would
class or
just be
something
playing
like
the
that.
chords. Like, I wouldn't even be playing songs. It would just be like, anyway,
Strumming.
sorry.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, and he would lead worship, and then he would, I can't remember if I sang a lot or just a few times, but I remember one day I like couldn't for some reason, and I told Reese, I was like 8, and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to perform with you on Sunday or something like that. And I remember him saying, it's not a performance, it's I don't know why I remember that, but and so like I didn't quite understand right then, obviously, and then even like when I started singing, it's hard to not like worry about how I'm doing and stuff like that. I need to just direct all my focus to worshiping God. But in the like, I'd say since I started singing, at least at Pathway, I felt like I've had a pretty good understanding of like not making it about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying. It's not always easy though, because sometimes, especially it's gonna sound weird. Sometimes if I feel like I'm doing good, like I don't know if that makes sense, but like if I feel like I'm like if there's a song especially that we haven't done before, and I'm like, oh wow, this is good. Like I don't know exactly how to put it, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sort of I kind of get what you're coming from.
I'm not very good.
Well,
at
I've
putting
even
words
noticed
into words.
in the past year you've become a lot more expressive in your worship too.
Yeah.
I've noticed that over the past year.
Yeah, well, I think part of the reason I've been more comfortable is because then I've stopped thinking the whole time. When I first started, I was so nervous about like how am I gonna do, like what if I do bad, and what if it was very focused on me, even though I wasn't meaning it to be like, oh, I need to do good so people will be impressed. It was just like
You felt like that's what was being required of you at the time. Right, wrong, or indifferent, you were just walking it out that way.
Yeah, and so I was so focused on that. I was like hands at my side, like I would be like tapping along but once I figured out like it's not about you.
It doesn't matter how we do.
To just surrender a little bit more and be able to just worship, and so that actually has changed in the last however long it's been.
Yeah, that's really good.
I think it's clear, like you mentioned, you've seen that in your brother. I think it's very clear when you have an understanding of, what God would require of you as you're walking out your faith, to see that in people. Like, probably you could, in another way, say you've seen Carson be a little more free in his worship. Like, absolutely, which is literally what God's saying He's allowing us to walk in. If we let ourselves do it, right? Is freedom. Like, He came to set the captives free. Like, He came to give us this life that we get to live here on earth abundantly if we just realize who He actually is and what He's actually done. So you've witnessed that in His more free expression of worship. And I think you could see that as you start to look at people that are in your lives in a bunch of different avenues, like how someone walks into the office, how generous they are with their stuff. Like, you could start, oh yeah, that guy, he lives in a pretty free manner. And then I would argue that it's because he has a good understanding of who Jesus is.
Well, and I think it comes back to the point of surrender a lot of times, because even when you talk about that as you're trying to, or as you're like giving up of that, that like way of thinking, even though you weren't trying to make it about yourself to other people. Like even in your mind, you were focusing on that. But when you're able to surrender it and be like, okay, God, like how my voice sounds today is up to you.
It is what it is.
And that's what I came to the realization too, because I would think like I have to, even though it wasn't a performance, you want to perform well. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely.
And then you're like, well, these hands are yours and my vocal cords are yours, so do with it as you will, because I mean,
and I don't think that means we don't practice or we don't try to sound good, or
absolutely.
we don't try to be on cue. Like I think God would give us the gifts He's given us so that we use them properly, which means practice, which means getting better at what gifts He's given us. So it's not like, oh yeah, well I'm just gonna get there and just whatever happens, you know.
I've actually never sang before. But
well, and I think that's even I
like,
think that's part of the surrendering, because I mean even in the Psalms He talks about play on a harp skillfully.
Yeah.
So like I think the practice leads into it, because the more you know the songs, and the more you're able to let go during that time of worship, because you're like, I know this, I'm able to just worship and I don't have to worry about trying to think of, you know, does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, because that's something that the reason that I started, when I first started singing, I would like look at the song list that we sent out, but I was like, oh, I know them enough. I can look at the words if they're not. That sounds really bad. Like, but...
No, it's true.
But like I was like I know them. I don't really have to spend a lot of time practicing. But now it's I've started to at least make sure I know the words, and I like at least so I don't have to be like thinking.
Yeah.
I'm really good at thinking too much, but worship is something where I try not to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
yeah. Well, and my prayer for our worship team and then also for our congregation is that we can just let go of stuff. I'll pray it with our team and like with the, right before songs. But that's always my hope, is that we're like able to just focus on Jesus the whole time.
Heck yeah. I like that.
It's very cool. So maybe I'll come over to you guys.
Just saying, it would be fun.
Yeah. Every other Sunday. Well, cool. Well, Zach, thank you for being on the podcast today.
Heck yeah.
It's been fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not really on social media, huh? We usually do shout out that Zach's not on social media.
No. You can follow the Sean team or Radiant to Larry.
Yeah.
You see me there.
Yeah. And you guys have your teachings on podcasts, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We put them up every Monday or Tuesday. So I just put it up this morning. So
cool. Have you taught again since I listened to the last time?
I have not.
You have not? Okay.
Nope. Brother Travis was on there today, or this last Sunday, from Radiant Visalia.
Very cool.
He's walking through some confessions of our sins, how to walk that out. That was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Carson, you got anything else to say in the podcast?
No, I mean I had questions, but they were all.
Oh, you have questions?
No, I had like goofy little debate questions, but we went more like serious. So
okay.
I didn't bring them up.
Good. I liked our conversation today.
I
it was good.
Too, that's why I didn't.
Okay, good.
I was
nice.
So I closed the tab.
Yeah. Good.
Just letting it flow.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Amen. All right. Well, yeah. Follow me on Instagram at Resapien. I don't have a social media on my phone right now, but I am still posting stuff on my computer because I'm trying to get rid of it on my phone, like Zach told me to, because he said I was on it too much. No, I'm just kidding.
It happens. We all need a cleanse from time to time.
Yeah. But you can download the Sean Team app and sign up for my weekly newsletter on the link in my bio. Carson, what's your Instagram?
I still have social media, so you can follow me at Carson.Sapien.
Yeah.
If you have any real estate needs, reach out to me and I can send you to either Zach or Reese, I guess.
That's true.
Probably mostly Reese, but if you have anything, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if Zach is really nice, I'll refer you to him instead.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, reach out to me so I can get a referral. And
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, see you guys next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.